Ooga fucking Ooga cunts, and welcome back to another cunts. God, CNN, the Cunt News Network. We bring you the news that's been brought by somebody else. Tonight we have quite a few different topics to actually talk about. Not a whole lot actually. We came into this one half cocked a bit. As you can tell, Rob is unfortunately not going to be with us tonight because if anyone follows Rob on Twitter, you would know that he recently had surgery and he is recovering from that. So everybody go and send Rob some love, some penis jokes. I don't know.
Yes, oh the love.
Basically. But other than that, we do still have some articles for you. We have some news that we got to get through. If you can look at the title, it does clearly say Nerd Kickstarters, the Electoral College, and Trump Exoneration. Now, before we get into all of those, I just want to go ahead and say, originally, I wanted to do a stream about the Electoral College with Sofane. Just because and everyone knows I am a very big fan of Poisoning the Well, and Sofane has been doing his usual thing where he goes around and pisses just about everybody off with his fucking political comments and shit like that on Twitter. So I basically hit him up earlier, did not realize that I would be talking about it today, but we might actually have him back. I just gave him the link to the stream if he wants to join. But if he doesn't, we'll probably do another callback to the Electoral College at a later time. But I do have an article about it, as well as the recent news with Trump being exonerated or Trump claiming he's exonerated, blah, 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 whatever.
Technically, that's what it's sounding like, but I have been horrible about keeping up with all the shit, especially via Twitter, because, hey, y'all, I've been on hiatus.
Well, yeah, that's fair enough. But first, we're going to get into the first story of the night. We're going to get into Nerd Kickstarters. Now, for anyone who actually is not familiar with Kickstarter, I'm not sure why anyone wouldn't know what a Kickstarter is, but a Kickstarter is essentially a 100% crowd-funded type thing. Basically, somebody goes to the Kickstarter website, and they pretty much create, just like they would with a Patreon or a GoFundMe or anything like that, a little thing that they're kind of campaigning for. They put themselves at a set goal of how much they're looking for, and then they create the link, they send it out into the ether, and hope people actually are willing to put money in.
It's happened a lot with video games that kind of went south.
Basically, yes. Now, the reason why I'm talking about a Kickstarter is because I'm one of those people that is a huge fucking nerd, as everyone already knows. And so there are a lot of things that I absolutely love nerd-wise and stuff like that. D&D just so happens to be one of those things that I absolutely love and am a huge fan of. Aside from D&D, I also really dig cartoons. And I really enjoy comic books. I like fantasy. There's a whole lot of shit that I'm a huge fan of. Recently, I have actually been made aware of, and by recent, I mean I've actually known about these guys for technically about a year or so now, but I never really watched them for the most part, just because like my friend kept telling me about this group, and I was just like, oh, that sounds awesome. But I am familiar with people like Matt Mercer and Laura Bailey. Here's the thing. I didn't realize that Laura Bailey was the Laura Bailey from World of Warcraft, along with Travis Willingham, Taliesin Jaffe, the legendary Liam O'Brien. I didn't know that these were all the same people who I had been a fan of for so fucking many years.
You are a fucking fake fan. Are you
no,
serious?
No, hold on. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I didn't realize this was the same Laura Bailey who voices fucking Jana Proudmoore. I was unaware of that. And that's because there have been many different times where there has actually been the different voice actors with either the same name or similar names. So I thought that maybe the Laura Bailey from World of Warcraft was actually not the same Laura Bailey from Critical Role. I was fucking horribly. I was horribly wrong until I actually sat down and watched Critical Role. And as I was watching Critical Role, various different clips and different videos, that's when it all clicked in my head. I'm like, oh my God, that's Jana Proudmoore. Oh my God, that's High Exarch Torellian. Oh my God, that's fucking Illidan. Holy fucking shit. Now, I knew Matt Mercer was the voice of Rexxar. Did not realize he was also the voice of Kilrog Deadeye from the Draenor expansion. Didn't realize he had actually been Rhaegar Stormbreaker for a while. I was just like, well,
you're a fucking fake fan.
You're
a fucking fake fan.
I'm terrible because I don't always look into who the voice actors are for the different things that I'm actually a huge fan of. I absorb the basic information. I was a comic book.
I'm the same way.
I was a comic book fan who only ever read the comic books. I didn't know who was drawing them. I didn't know who was writing them. I didn't really, in the early days of my appreciation for comic books, I didn't really know, nor did I care. It wasn't until I think I was in my late teens, early 20s, did I start to pay attention to very specific artists. And I had always been a fan of Jim Lee, but didn't realize I was a fan of Jim Lee's because Jim Lee was the guy who was drawing comic books when I got into them. He was the one who was the main artist for most X-Men comics for the Uncanny Chris Claremont run back in the early 90s. That was Jim Lee. And I was a huge fan of the X-Men because of that art and because of that writing. So that's just, you know, you're a kid. You don't typically pay attention to who's fucking giving you the product. You just care about the damn product. You don't give a fuck that, you know, Marvel is printing it or DC is printing it. It isn't until you get older do you start to actually appreciate things on a specific level. And then, anyways.
But it's cool because then you get to kind of have a, like, whole nerdgasm over it all over again.
Yes, I got to rediscover my fandom for Liam O'Brien, for Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham, Matt Mercer. I'm not that familiar with Marisha Ray, Sam Riegel, or even Ashley Johnson, but they are three very amazing, very talented people as well. Every one of these people are fantastic storytellers. They have been playing quite possibly the best D&D game I have ever actually been paying attention to. They're amazing. Critical Role. I highly recommend any nerd who really actually enjoys good storytelling to just go and watch Critical Role. They are absolutely fantastic. Now, they have both their own individual YouTube channel as well as their own individual Twitch channel. And most of their stuff is now being specifically uploaded to their YouTube channel for, like, you know, reruns of shit that you may have missed when they did live streams and such. But most of their stuff is currently on the Geek and Sundry YouTube channel. I also recommend checking out other shows from Geek and Sundry because they are pretty interesting and pretty cool. I was never really that familiar with Geek and Sundry for a long time, and then a lot of people I'd actually been a fan of and admired for years, turns out they were also on Geek and Sundry. So basically, I highly recommend checking out Geek and Sundry. They have some pretty cool shows about other games that aren't exactly D&D, but they are tabletop games. Some of them are board games. Some of them are tabletop games that people from Geek and Sundry or people associated with, from people from Geek and Sundry, they make them. Like, there's this ongoing game right now on Geek and Sundry where they basically play this really interesting sci-fi type game. It's, I swear, Sestra, all we would have to do is give the basic premise of this game to Mems and Jeff, and both of them would instantly just be like, okay, so how much alcohol are we going to bring because we're playing the fuck out of this game? Because you know how much how big sci-fi nerds those two are, and this game is it's deep bedded in sci-fi with a little bit of fantasy in there.
Nice. Oh yeah.
Well, anyways, enough about the stuff behind what I was talking about. Critical Role earlier this month had actually launched a Kickstarter. The Kickstarter was supposed to go on for 45 days, and they were only looking for originally $750. The second as soon as they had made the Kickstarter go live, because they had already announced it about a week and a half prior to that, they had pretty much said, like, we are considering an animated short, something for the fans, blah, blah, blah. And then when they actually made their announcement, just when the Kickstarter went live, they had also released a video you can go onto YouTube and find, called The Legend of Vox Machina. Their most popular of their campaigns, which is actually a completed campaign right now, but their most popular campaign is the Vox Machina campaign from Season 1, Campaign 1. And the fans absolutely love it. They love the characters. Grog is my absolute favorite character. Don't at me. And so when they announced this, the fans were absolutely fucking happy. They were just bouncing off the walls with joy. Within an hour, they didn't just make the $750 goal. They broke over 1 million.
Holy shit.
I was one of their backers when they were still at 1 million. I actually I put down for a little bit of money. I'm not going to specifically say what, but I put down for a little bit of money when they were still like 1.5 million. And here's the thing, they had made stretch goals, not thinking that they were probably going to meet the stretch goals, but they made stretch goals for if the Kickstarter within the 45-day range can actually make this amount of money, we will also include this into the package. So we were automatically, at the time that I became a backer, given another 22 minutes of the animated short, which was going to be The Legend of Vox Machina. 25 days left, and they are currently at 7.9 million.
Holy fuck!
They have thus far broken at least 2 different records when it comes to Kickstarter, as far as a lot of people. And the reason why we're talking about this is because a lot of news outlets have actually started talking about this, because this is relatively big news. Not only is The Legend of Vox Machina the most paid for crowdfunded fucking Kickstarter that they have actually ever done, but it's also hit the number 9 spot as most funded Kickstarter in history.
Oh my gosh.
I think, truthfully speaking, it's probably going to reach the number 8 spot. I wouldn't be surprised if it eventually hits the number 8 spot. And there are only 25 days left for this particular Kickstarter. And the final stretch goal that they were willing to actually put down, because they really don't expect the fans to go beyond the number of $8.8 million. But once $8.8 million is complete, we will get every single bit of the animation done. And the wonderful thing is that the Kickstarter actually even tells you where the money is going, how much of it is actually going into animation, how much of it is going into everybody's pockets. And here's the funny thing, the people at Critical Role, the voice actors themselves, they're not going to really make that much money off of this.
Yeah,
this was kind of a passion project from them. Yes, they are going to get paid for this as well, because, you know, why not get paid for doing your fucking job?
Right.
But the majority of this money is absolutely going into animation. That is where the majority of the money is going. They've broken everything down. And one of the best things about this is Marisha Ray. She is the one who kind of convinced everybody to go the Kickstarter route. She's the one who basically said she would love to do an animated thing. All of them said they would love to do something animated for the fans. But Marisha was the one who said she doesn't want to go to studios. She doesn't like going to studios and asking them if they can, you know, do this, because, like, as I have actually seen and understood Marisha, she's not the type of person that goes and asks for permission to do something.
Yeah, she doesn't want the loan.
Exactly.
The business shit of it.
Yes. But like Marisha didn't want to go to studios because everybody knows that studios will probably accept a project and then they will start making demands after the contract is signed and everything like that. Like, okay, but we want this and this and this. And the people are like, well, we really want this to be made. So yeah, sure, we can go ahead and bend that. Marisha and everybody else wanted to make it their way. They didn't want studios to you know, put their dirty little fingers into it and possibly ruin the character or story writing or anything like that. It's 100% made by basically Critical Role because they have been essentially writing these fucking stories from the start. But to pretty much be the head writer / director of this, they actually went with somebody who has done some pretty awesome shit in the past. I can't fucking remember her first name, but it's someone named something Marrow. She's actually a writer-director for a lot of other cartoons that have been very successful in the past. I just can't recall all of them right now. And I believe she's an award winner. But yes, this Kickstarter has been just blowing minds, blowing expectations. Like, no one really thought it was going to explode like they did. And there I am, one of the fucking backers, and I'm still just as shocked at how fast they had gotten to $7 million. So got in such little time. It wasn't even 48 hours later, and they were already like past 5 million. That's how insane this. And I just made the joke online because it's true. Critters, the fans of Critical Role, critters are just a bunch of fucking nerds who are waiting to flex their fucking muscles in some way.
Yeah.
They're just a bunch of strong ass nerds that just want to flex their muscles in one way or another. So that was pretty much what it was. Holy shit. So yes, keep an eye out for this particular Kickstarter. If you want to be a backer, wonderful. But The Legend of Vox Machina is eventually going to be coming out. If you want to check out what Vox Machina is, again, go and check out Critical Role. If you want to see what the animation is going to look like, there is a sample of it on the Critical Role YouTube. It's just, I'm super fucking excited, and this really is like just shocking. Awesome and shocking. It is.
Dream come true.
It is 100% a dream come true. Adrian Blum is in the chat saying that Ethan Van Sciver is the highest comic book Kickstarter. And I'm not even surprised by that one. Ethan Van Sciver is one of those talents in comic books that, once again, not a lot of people really knew his name unless you were really like a huge fan of comic books and you actually were a better fan than me and paid attention to who was drawing your comic books, who was writing your comic books and stuff like that. Ethan Van Sciver was at one point relatively big name in comic books, and his name was starting to lose traction. People were starting to not really know who Ethan Van Sciver was. He's a 30-year veteran or 25+ year veteran in the comic book industry. He's been a comic book pro for a very, very long time. And then the controversy, Comicsgate, eventually came about. Now, funny enough, somebody made a joke calling it Comicsgate, and then Ethan just ran with it because it was just like, yeah, fuck it. It was the same thing with Gamergate. It's the same thing with AnimeGate. That's just all the gates. There's always going to be the gatekeeping arguments and shit like that. But I'm not even remotely surprised that Ethan Van Sciver is the highest comic book Kickstarter, because the man does pretty amazing work, and he gave us some fun, goofy ideas that everybody loved about comic books back in the 80s and 90s. Anyone who is a big comic book fan knows that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started off as a graphic novel back in the 1980s. There have been plenty of times where comic books have given us very strange and odd characters, such as Deadpool, or even characters similar to Freakazoid. I'm not saying Freakazoid because he actually started as a cartoon, but it's like, there are characters like Deadpool and Freakazoid that actually made their appearances in comic books because they were fourth wall breakers, or just these really off the wall, goofy kind of characters and stuff. So when Ethan Van Sciver presented everybody with Cyberfrog, everybody was just like, what's that? what's a cyber frog? I'm curious. And then you
It's
basically
Pepe, bitches. No, I'm joking.
no, it was basically just this frog that with cybernetic enhancements and body limbs and shit like that. And it was just like, it's fucking weird and cool at the same time. I want to know. I need to know all of this. Give me all this shit.
Right.
So yeah, I had a feeling that Ethan Van Sciver was going to be like, you know, he was going to blow up in the Kickstarter scene and stuff, especially since for a very long time, a lot of Kickstarters have kind of been mostly directed towards, you know, passion projects and things that people actually want to make. They want to eventually break into an industry, but you know, they probably don't have enough of a name, or they don't have enough credit, or they've been turned down by this person or that person, so they basically go to the whole crowdfunding thing. I don't know a whole lot of people that have actually gone through and been a massive success with Kickstarter, but like, if you build up enough of a fan base, you'll get somewhere. Like a good example, any YouTuber that has over 100,000 subscribers, a lot of them have fucking sponsors. And some of them are even self-made with their own merch lines and stuff like that. They built up enough of a fan base, and all of a sudden, boom, explosion. Yes, now they're self-sufficient. So a Kickstarter is essentially trying to start off self-sufficient, but knowing damn well you're probably not going to be self-sufficient. So when things like, you know, Cyberfrog just explodes onto the scene, and Vox Machina also explodes and breaks one record after another, it's a hell of a fucking thing. It just shows you that there are a fuckload of nerds out there. In fact, if I look over at this, there are 58,352 nerds in this world right now who desperately want to see a really cool animated fantasy D&D story. That is
cool.
Oh, it just went up by one number. Another backer has joined. That's 58,353 nerds in this world that want to see something like that.
Hell,
and then,
throw the link in the chat.
Fair enough. I'll go ahead and do exactly that.
You see, yeah, in case any of you guys want to fucking throw a few schmeckles at the
yeah, so if you guys, this is the link to the Kickstarter if you want to go and actually support or even back Critical Role. They give good shit. And here's the thing. There isn't a lot of these people out there, but I do know that they exist. There's a lot, but there are some voices that are very anti-Critical Role. And it's kind of disgusting, only because I have looked into a lot of these people. I've looked at what they tweet, mostly because I follow them. So of course I'm going to see what the fuck they tweet. If I just scroll through Twitter, I'm going to come across one of their tweets at some point or another. I've watched the show. They aren't gatekeepers in the slightest. The closest to gatekeeping that these particular people actually do is pretty much telling the really harmful, mean-spirited assholes that they don't really want to bring anything constructive to the table. They just want to fuck shit up. They want to insult. They want to try to hurt. They want to try to harm. They're the very horrible people that we actually will go out of our way to avoid. Those people are not welcome. And I would actually even stand by Critical Role with stuff like that. Because once again, you're not bringing anything even remotely constructive. All you want to do is basically shout at people and call them horrible names. You want to bring hate. You want to bring distrust. You want to bring a bunch of disgusting, vile shit into a fucking a game, for God's sake. It's a fucking game. People are trying to enjoy themselves, and you just want to fucking ruin it.
Yeah. We need a fucking escape from reality, y'all. Basically.
And so Critical Role goes out of their way to try to make everybody feel welcome. They want everybody to actually give into their passions. They want everybody. These are a bunch of nerds that used to get made fun of for being nerds and then became very successful in their life because they were fucking nerds. Yes. Like these are nerds who became successful nerds. And so they just want other nerds to become successful nerds and have fun doing it. That's what their main goal is. If your only goal is to shit on that, maybe take a look in the mirror and realize you might be the problem in this situation.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, so like they don't actually do gatekeeping, despite what some people have tried to say in the past. I've paid attention. Like, no one has to listen to your fucking your shit. You know, I'm not going to say hate speech because freedom of speech.
Yeah, they're literally turning the other cheek. That's all.
Basically, it's just like, all right, if all you want to do is just talk shit on this particular person, then I'm just going to stop listening. I'm going to be over here.
Yep.
And if you've got a problem with that, well, again, maybe reevaluate yourself.
Yeah, you're the one with the problem, not everybody else.
Essentially.
Yeah.
But aside from the little bit that you probably like, the only reason why I even found this out was because Critical Role had some controversy about them a few years ago. This was, I think, roughly 4 years ago. And it was because one of the people that had originally started Critical Role with them eventually was kind of kicked off the show. And I say kicked off kind of loosely because all he really did was step out of line and say something really awful and nasty to one of the fans.
Okay, so like John Tron and Game Grumps. Okay.
Kind of, yeah. And
like, not necessarily a bad person, but you fucked up.
Yeah, and then sometime after that, apparently he went off the rails, and I guess
like John Tron.
Well, no, see, when I say off the rails, I mean he got very pissed off and started really trying to smear the hell out of Critical Role for a while, and you know, he basically, it was just one giant PR nightmare kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he was essentially permabanned. Now, here's the thing. He's not exactly no longer friends with these people, because this was a group of friends who started this entire thing from the beginning. They were all friends from the same industry that just came together one day because Liam had a birthday and he said for his birthday he wanted to do a game. So him and his friends got together. They did a game. It was just a one-shot. And then it continued from there because it was really fun. And Liam had actually tweeted or texted to all his friends saying, that was actually a lot of fun. I want to continue doing that. But he had no answer for a couple of days. And he felt like, you know, oh, no, my nerd heart, it's broken. But like shortly after that, I guess, because everybody was probably busy, everybody started responding saying that was a lot of fucking fun. I definitely want to do that again. Hell yes, let's play. And only like a few of them really had ever played before, so they kind of already knew how to play the game. But they're all a bunch of nerds. Like, deep down, they're all a bunch of nerds. They played video games. They understand the core concept behind everything. So yeah, and then they just kept having more fun. And then it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. Like every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I drop everything just to watch Critical Role. That is how much of a fan I am. I will be in the middle of a raid, and this did actually happen not too long ago. I'm not even kidding you. I'll be in the middle of a raid on World of Warcraft, and as soon as I look at the clock, it's like fucking 2 minutes before the stream goes live. I just log out of everything. Oh no, I suddenly am no longer in the raid. I just disappeared right as we were fucking fighting one of the bosses. And I felt bad. I felt really fucking bad, but I wasn't gonna miss that.
You're that D-bag, right? No, I'm joking.
Yes, I'm that D-bag. Fuck you.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's got poop sometimes too, man.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I really wanted to talk about when it came to Critical Role. Like, I'm again, as you can tell, I'm a huge fucking fan. And oh look, they've got more backers. Fucking awesome. But yes, the animated series is going to be fucking amazing. You can already tell because Titmouse is actually the animation company that's behind the animation itself. And if you guys have ever been familiar with Titmouse, they do gorgeous pieces of animation. Like they do amazing
it sounds
animation.
familiar.
Go to YouTube. They have their own YouTube channel. But even if you go to YouTube and you type in Titmouse or Titmouse animation, you'll see a variety of different cartoons that they have actually done in the past. But you know what? Actually, I'll do you one better. I will give you the link, both the chat as well as you, Sestra. The Legend of Vox Machina. There we go. Okay, so first the chat is going to get the Legend of Vox Machina link. There is the YouTube channel for it. And now you in the side chat.
Yeah.
So that is a sample of what Titmouse is going to be bringing to the table when they actually do the Legend of Vox Machina animation. It is going to be fucking amazing. I'm going to keep that tabbed because I plan on watching that after this. I've watched it 17 times now. I've kept
God, you're worse than me with freaking Titanic when it first came out.
Oh god,
I know.
It's so good. I'm super excited to see these characters in an actual cartoon with all of the effects and stuff, because for a while now I have been watching them and I've had to use my imagination based off of the brilliant storytelling from Matt Mercer, by the way. And you know, it's for the most part it's in your head and it's great. But I want to see it actually happen before my very eyes, because then I don't have to imagine what the energy looks like when Scanlan does some kind of a fucking crotch missile. Watch the if you watch that thing, you will understand what I mean, and then I will explain at a later time about the crotch missile.
I will have to freaking see this after the show tonight. Holy shit.
You will not regret it. I almost guarantee it. If you are basically nerds. But aside from that, let's get into some of the other topics, because it seems like we are boring the living shit out of the audience.
I know. None of you fuckers are even saying hi to us. What the fuck?
Oh, they've been saying hi. That's completely fine. They've actually been quite talkative. We've had the Bitching Witch in the chat, Lionel Valentine, Third Fakist, the usual group itself, essentially.
Where are you fuckers?
Thank you. And then, of course, Adrian Blum. But let's move on to one of the other topics that we had tonight. So, Sestra, do you want to move on to Electoral College or Trump?
Fuck, they're both the same. Right about now, anyways.
Fair enough. Okay. So recently, Steven Crowder from Louder with Crowder had Ben Shapiro on his Thursday night live show, which I caught. And he actually had a few things to say about the Electoral College and why he actually is for it. And why he's not really for a lot of other things. And this shouldn't really be much of a shocker, because Crowder has been an open right-wing Republican conservative type person this entire time. So no one's shocked by this.
Right.
But I thought it was interesting because there are actually several takes on the Electoral College, because while I actually agree with a lot of reasons as to why the Electoral College exists and why people, continue to like it and so on and so forth, I don't necessarily agree 100%. Because personally, I think one vote counts as one vote. That's just, I've always thought that way. But to give more insight into Crowder's Electoral College, we have Courtney Kirchhoff, number 41. The Electoral College kicks ass. Ben Shapiro guests. This is actually an article written about that particular. Oh, it's not even much of an article. It's just a link to the fucking that goddamn thing. But yeah, essentially, talking all things Canadian calamity or chlamydia, weed psychosis, mystery poopers, and how the Electoral College is good for American voters. Tumblr merchant Ben Shapiro talks his new book, and Brodigan sits third chair. Okay, so let's just go ahead and click on one of these links. Ah, here we are. I clicked the wrong thing. Chiefess Elizabeth Warren of maybe 124th South American Native heritage, in order to make an impression on break from the herd of 2020 presidential contenders, said it was time to retire the Electoral College. Shorter, she pandered to low information voters. Shorterer? Why is the word shorterer? Oh,
shorterer.
I think it's
sorry, y'all. We were talking about how we fuck up words sometimes. Just before we got on, so
it's legitimately shorter with an extra er at the end of it, so it's shorterer, and I think it's intentional. I think it's intentional because Courtney would know fully well that that is not a fucking word, but she is using it on purpose to basically be like, it's so dumb, it's affecting my English abilities. So she wants the stupid vote. We have an Electoral College for good reason. The top 5 reasons we need the Electoral College. The topic was, frankly, too good for even El Presidente, the Donald, to pass up. He dropped some knowledge on the low information pandering sore loser Democrats with these 2 tweets. Tweet number 1, campaigning for the popular vote is much easier and different than campaigning for the Electoral College. It's like training for the 100-yard dash versus a marathon. The brilliance of the Electoral College is that you must go to many states to win. With the popular vote, you go to go. Oh, you go to continuation, just the large states. The cities would end up running the country. Smaller states and the entire Midwest would end up losing all power. And we can't let that happen. I used to like the idea of the popular vote, but now realize the Electoral College is far better for the USA. Now, see, I can't exactly disagree with that. But again, at its very core, at my very core at least, I still believe one vote should be one vote. And I do actually agree with Trump that going for the popular vote is probably the easiest thing you could do when it comes to running for president. I mean, look at what Hillary did. Her campaign was essentially just go to the major cities in the big states and show up.
Yeah.
That was essentially what it was. Like, she didn't really bring any policies that actually made anybody go, oh my God, her policies. No one fucking talked about her policies. Truthfully speaking, the only people that were talking about her policies were people that fucking despised her policies. Yeah. You know, and there were a lot of left-leaning liberal people that we know, you and I both know, who are YouTubers, who are not YouTubers, that every single time this topic of Clinton and her politics came up, either A, no one knew what the fuck they were unless they looked it up and Googled that shit,
or they were gagging,
or B, they actually knew what they were and they were like, oh my God, no, none of this is terrible. So it was just, you know, and that's all. That's how Hillary won, though. All she did was go to the major states and the major cities in those states and just show up, crack a few terrible mom jokes, and then move the fuck on. Like, she didn't bring anything of substance.
The gun debate is actually a really good here we go with the whole fucking up of words thing. So the gun debate is actually a really good measurement in my eyes when it comes to the Electoral College. And actually, I think Tim Pool made this argument that when you're living in a small town and your nearest cop is fucking 45 minutes away and you have somebody on your property who's fucking threatening you, which gun, like, versus somebody who lives down fucking town and can have the cops at their place within 5-10 minutes, yeah, how you gotta protect yourself? So the person who's in rule is going to sit here and go, no, I need my guns to fucking protect myself, because they literally do need their guns to protect themselves until the cops can get there. If you live in a city, and the majority of people do live in cities, they're going to go, no, the cops already have this taken care of. And they do. But in the smaller cities, in the smaller, fucking tiny towns, they don't.
There's a lot of information there that
I mean, it's not that simple.
I get the idea behind what you're saying, so I'm really not trying to argue against you, but it's just one of those things where I feel like I had to at least kind of speak up and say there's a lot going on, more than most people would probably even be willing to I was gonna say, discuss.
As somebody who's lived in both, as somebody who's lived in suburbia and in the middle of fucking nowhere as a child, I can speak on both behalfs where it goes, no, yeah, definitely. When you have your fucking ex-husband fucking driving up your fucking path and all you have is your fucking cell phone to the cops that can't get there for probably another fucking 45 minutes, your shotgun, and your ex-husband who has every fucking thought in his mind as he's drunk driving down your fucking drive to come after you and possibly kill you, and your gun and the cop on the fucking phone is your only defense, which one is going to take care of the issue quicker?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
If you're in suburbia, hey, that fucking call, that video will definitely, save your ass. But if you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere, at least cracking a shot off towards the fucker will get him to pause.
I swear to God, Lionel, sometimes I don't understand why you do the things you do in the chat. I just look
because he's making our chat lit, fam.
No, don't you fucking use that. Don't you use that language around me. How fucking dare you, Sestra? That is a bannable offense, young lady.
Hey, I'm 36. I gotta try and stay hip with the homies.
I don't give a shit. I'm not that far behind you in age.
I know.
Anyways, continuing on with the article. That's a hell of a fucking segue. He's right. We have the Electoral College to make every vote actually count, contrary to what the Democrats are selling the American people, specifically the stupid American people. Again, I really covered why we have the Electoral College and how it actually equalizes American voters across the country rather than handing all the power to San Francisco, LA, and New York City. Read the top 5 reasons we need the Electoral College. I will in just a second. Then Donald tossed this little number. The Democrats are getting very strange. They now want to change the voting age to 16, abolish the Electoral College, and increase significantly the number of Supreme Court justices. Actually, you've got to win it at the ballot box. Let me just go ahead and unpack some of these terrible ideas. First of all, voting age for 16? No. That's a terrible idea.
God, no.
When I was 16, I got so high, I almost set my garage on fire. I should not have been allowed to vote.
Yeah,
I can tell you right now, that was one of those things where even then, when it's the whole like, I should be allowed to vote even when I'm 16. No, that is a terrible idea. Like, okay, maybe a long time ago, back when electricity wasn't even a common fucking thing in households and such,
And
you know,
people were more involved.
16 was obviously adulthood at that point, because once a boy had gotten to roughly 12, 13 years old, he was considered an adult in most cultures. So
shit,
fine.
We got people my age that are still living with their fucking parents and believing what the fucking media tells them to be true without even second guessing it or looking into it deeper than a fucking headline.
My dad likes to call me an idiot all the time, and yet will sit there and absorb CNN for hours on end. He just believes the mainstream media, and I'm like, really, dude? Really? I'm the idiot. Okay. That's I'm not saying that he does that on a regular basis. It's not an abusive fucking father or anything like that. I'm just pointing out like how funny that is to me, because it's just like, dude, I don't believe the mainstream media most of the time. Like, there are a few stories where I'm just like, yeah, they probably got it right with that one. But like a lot of the time, I'm just like, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. It doesn't matter if it's Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, ABC News. I don't give a shit what news outlet it is. I don't believe a single fucking major news outlet. When I want to learn the news, I go to alternative media, because they will be biased about everything they're telling me. And that's all I really need them to say up front is, we're extremely biased. But here's the information. Go ahead and make your own fucking conclusion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why he I'm not sure why he quoted strange. I'm not sure why he quoted strange. I'm not even sure how to
read that
one. Yeah, that one kind of quoted strange. It's like a retweet of a prostitute. That's how it's coming off to me. But okay, I don't know. That's moving on. But other than that, he's right on. The Democrats are upset they lost. They're afraid they're going to lose again. So rather than playing by the existing rules, they're attempting to change the rules to rig the game in their favor. Democrats know they control the biggest cities. Ergo, they want to disenfranchise those people who live in Middle America by killing the Electoral College. Then, as Nancy Pelosi recently stated, they want to lower the voting age to 16. Again, appealing to the low information people. Giving a 16-year-old the vote is like handing a toddler a power drill.
Well, and see, that's the other thing too that I really want to fucking point out is I have known, God, I knew fucking me and several of my peers were told from fucking ages 10 to fucking 18, holy shit, you are really fucking smart for your age. Yeah, no, definitely. In different fucking focuses, people are at different areas of their life. But I also knew a 27-year-old woman who her first relationship, first sexual partner was her first relationship, and she got married to that guy and didn't know or understand shit about how relationships and people work. And so every relationship after that, adult-wise, she acted like we all did in fucking 6th, 7th, and 8th grade when it came to people. So, like, no, there are definitely people who are smarter at younger ages about some things and retarded about other things at other ages. So, in all honesty, you want to sit there and lower it, cool. You're going to have a shit ton of fucking retards who are just like, oh yeah, Clinton's great. He let a girl fucking give him a blowjob. Ha ha ha, that's awesome. I'll fucking vote for his wife. She fucking let it happen. Then you're also going to have the people who are going to be like, no, you know what? Not not the smartest chick out there. Here's what she's actually done. So everybody's going to come at it from a different point of view, regardless of age.
Okay,
I would rather somebody be older.
I just want to go ahead and point out that Monica Lewinsky is only alive to this day because she became a partial high-profile celebrity for quite a while, and at this point, should she randomly come up dead, Hillary Clinton would be the first one everyone would look to and be like,
don't think
"Did you have her killed?"
I really don't think that they would, though.
They would, but only because all the other people that may have gone missing or came up dead, and a lot of people think that maybe it was Hillary and stuff like that. Those were people that were not in the media's eyes for as long as Monica Lewinsky,
right?
Or for the amount of time that for the same reasons as Monica Lewinsky. Monica Lewinsky became way too high profile, so she kind of became partially untouchable, because all of those other missing people, for the most part, were prior to the Monica Lewinsky incident.
Right.
Afterwards, the body count has gone down significantly.
Yeah.
But so Hillary let it happen. Right. Okay. Guess you're forgetting the various.
Tammy Wynette, my ass.
I guess people forget about the various different stories that came out after Clinton actually confessed to getting a BJ from Monica on multiple fucking occasions and everything.
No, there are still people who think that it never actually fucking happened. That he never admitted to it, and I'm just like, the fuck? Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean by they're still fucking let fucking 16-year-olds have the vote. Okay, these are also the ones who think that, he never actually fucking got one. Oh, he never said that. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Well,
yep.
The last bits of this article, then they'd like to stack the court with more numbers in a transparent attempt to lock in more justice of their own once Trump's term is finished. Not the first attempt from the Democrats either. FDR tried the same, actually, and there's a link to that particular one too. I'm not going to go into that just yet. I'll probably save that for a later time. Basically, the Democrats are losers. They don't want to keep losing, so they're trying to cheat. They're specifically trying to cheat Americans. Nice try. Yeah, so that was that.
Everybody
article.
Cheats is essentially what that article is saying.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. When it comes to one of the reasons why I can't stand politics is because you are always going to get the politician who sits there and tries to say that they are great, that they're never going to lie to you, that they're going to always be in the up and up, that this, that. It's always something fucking stupid. And then they end up and they always disguise these very bad ideas as we need to do this because blank reason. And then you look at the actual reasoning behind it or the aftermath of what it really would actually do. They're pretty words. They're honeyed words are always going to sound so sweet and so nice and so wonderful, but it's basically a devil's lie. Because a lot of the times a politician, and it doesn't matter if they're Democratic or Republican, a lot of times a politician, they're going to tell you what they want you to hear, what you want to hear, but not always follow through with it. Now, I'm not saying that Republicans specifically never follow through, and I'm not saying specifically that Democrats never follow through, but there are a lot of unfortunate situations like this. For example,
or even those who do follow through, it ends up being a regrettable, stop and think about it right now. Every single president has done something regrettable in quote unquote defense of America or to better America. They made a decision that became regrettable somewhere down the line that some other president had to quote unquote fix, and that fix, quote unquote, ended up fucking up America in another way that another president down the line had to fix, etc., etc. It's always going to happen this way. Am I the only one that sees that?
Well,
probably.
I don't know. I think you may have confused the shit out of the audience because, like, even my brain, and then the dog started up, and then all of a sudden I didn't understand what you were saying anymore, and I fucking hate the goddamn dogs.
Everybody, welcome our co-hosts, the dogs. They finally showed up for the night.
You can all eat a dick. I want you to die. No, politics.
Please send chocolate.
Politics, yes, please send chocolate. I will give it to them. I fucking despise politics because you never know exactly who is actually going to be the honest politician, which is kind of an oxymoron in and of itself. Honest politician. Right. Even politicians will tell you there is no such thing as an honest politician. Anyone who is a politician who tries to say they're an honest politician is a fucking liar. And you should never trust anything they say at that point because there is no such thing as an honest politician. That is just not happening. It's never happened. So I fucking hate politics because, like, here's the thing. AOC, dumb fucking person in the eyes of right-wingers, Republicans, conservatives, and so on, right? Yeah. Considered brilliant, forward-thinking, and interesting from the left, Democrats, and liberals, including the extreme versions of all three. But why? Simply because she's on that side of the fence? No, because in all honesty, one side isn't willing to even give her ideas a chance or even really, hear out what she kind of wants to achieve, which, not going to lie, pretty fucking admirable. Yeah. But one side is just absolutely refusing to even listen for the most part. Let's be honest. There's a lot of people on that side that's basically like, the second she opens her mouth, they've already muted her. And then the other side just keeps trying to push bad ideas forward because it pisses off the opposition. Yeah. And here's the thing. 10 years ago, that was the opposite of how things worked. There were Democrats there were Republicans that Democrats refused to fucking ever hear. The second any fucking the second any Republican tried to say anything that was actually admirable, might have been a dumb idea, but basically any kind of admirable idea of something that they wanted to eventually work forward to, the Democrats basically shut them the fuck out before they even had a chance. Yeah. And then Republicans would consistently push bad ideas over and over again, simply because it pissed off the fucking Democrats. This is how politics works. When one is in charge and actually fucking winning, the other is going to be a sore, pissed off loser. This is just how it has been. This is how it's always going to be. This is why I fucking hate politics. But I think AOC is an honest politician. You can't be that stupid. Yeah. Okay.
I agree with that.
I can't exactly disagree with that, but at the same time, I want to put an asterisk next to her name and say most honest politician, because she's probably lying about a lot of shit. Let's be honest. And she's been caught in a few lies and tried to say, no, she never said that.
Yeah.
No, bitch, you're lying.
You know what? And I'll even give her the benefit of the doubt and go, you know what? I think that she does want to do right by people. I genuinely do. Don't get me wrong. The Green New Deal, New Green Deal, whatever the fuck it's called, is absolutely a fucking shit show. On the other hand, it is getting people talking about it. And she is spurring people to actually come up with better fucking ideas because, oh my God, no, you think that you can do better? You try it. You know what? Thanks, bitch. We will now.
And
just to fucking prove you wrong.
And that's great, but I'm never going to give her the credit of, like, you know, fucking corporate mastermind or some shit like that, where she's playing the long game.
No.
Because there are some people that are going to try to later in life act like, oh, Ocasio-Cortez was such a brilliant fucking politician. Look at what she did. She would come out with one horrible idea after another, and people would shoot it down.
Every other fucking politician ever. Okay.
But she came up with these horrible ideas, and they were awful. They were atrocious. They would have never worked. But what it did do is it got people talking. It got people thinking. It got people moving forward with their ideas. And then we eventually came up with some really, really good ideas. And that's all because Ocasio-Cortez said this. And you know what? I have to say, I think that was all intentional. And I'm just sitting here like, you know, those people are going to exist at some point. They probably already do. And then there's probably going to be people like me who are just sitting there with their fucking hair in their hands, about ready to pull it out, and then just kind of internally screaming, going, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I am probably one of those people, by the way, anybody who's listening. I really don't know shit when it comes to politics. I don't, not on a larger scale. I only know from my personal experiences, but we also have to sit here and think that my knowledge level should be assumed as base for everybody. Everybody is only going off of what their idea of politics is and or should be based on their fucking knowledge and experiences. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know. That's just part of humanity.
You know what's funny though is you can actually see when a lot of people like to say that AOC is actually the Trump for the Democrats, correct? And
right.
It's mainly because she's considered to be the biggest idiot on that particular side of politics.
Yeah.
Which is funny because realistically speaking, yeah, she is. And I do call her the Trump of the left, only because it's funny to me. Don't take me seriously. It's not I'm just joking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually think she's legitimately the Trump of, you know, the fucking Democrats and stuff. It's just stupid.
Yeah, no.
But I can honestly say that when it comes to their tactics, when it comes to like how AOC runs her ship and how Trump runs his ship, it's very, very indicative of what they did prior to becoming politicians. Think about it. Before Trump became the president, he wasn't a politician. He was he was a partial celebrity who had his own reality TV show that ran for several years.
And before that, he was a badass at negotiating.
He was a businessman who was actually relatively well known for his negotiation abilities, and he was very rich, regardless of whether he had one failed business after another, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people like to drudge up his failed businesses, but they don't like to talk about a lot of the actual successes he's had. Not a big deal. Whatever. Trump has been coming at all of these politics from a business point of view. He knows how to sell a product to people. He knows how to take something that's bad and actually make it good, or at least decent.
Yeah.
He's coming at everything from a business point of view, which is something we've absolutely needed in this country for a long time. I just wish it wasn't him doing it.
Yes. Yes.
It would have been better if it was somebody else, to be honest. I don't know who. I don't have anyone offhand that would have been better. But like, it's because it's Trump. He was a mild celebrity, and his presence on Twitter is comedy gold, yes. But oh my fucking God, sometimes I'm just like, Trump, shut up. You have any idea how much it hurts for me to defend you when people just blatantly say something wrong about you? I don't step in or say shit when people just simply call him an idiot. I don't step in and say shit when people critique his fucking policies. I don't step in and say shit until somebody wants to fucking say something blatantly false about the man. And that's because I'm sick and tired of people saying blatantly false things about other people simply because they don't like that person. Fuck off and stop it. And I'm going to do the same thing with AOC. I'm not going to fucking stand there and actually, like, you know, allow somebody to say something just blatantly fucking stupid about her or false about her. Now, I was extremely fucking busy the entire time. But you remember a few weeks back, or like I think a month ago, when everybody was tossing around a video of her when she was in college dancing around?
No. So glad I missed that,
Oh,
because
that was so
I'm
fucking
sorry.
stupid.
I'm bi. She's not hot. I don't want to see her fucking jiggling around, y'all.
I want to see her jiggling around. I'm going to be very honest. She's hot to me. I would put fingers in her. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you'd put fingers in anything right about now.
No. I have some standards, not all, but some standards. But anyways, the thing is that people were trying to critique it to make it seem like she was just some stupid, dumb fucking kid. And I'm like, do you have any idea how fucking pathetic you look right now? You're basically going into this woman's
You're trying
past.
to whittle her down to that one moment. That's stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was nothing more than a fucking college project that she and some friends did in college where they danced on a rooftop. Oh dear God, she's not wearing shoes in the dancing. Big fucking deal. Like, holy fucking shit. People were trying to make a bigger deal out of that than it needed to be. And I'm just sitting there looking at everybody like, what are you, a fucking child? What is this? Like, this is the person that you want to run the fucking the country. So she had fun when she was in college. Good for her.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you want me to, like, god damn, some people are just fucking ridiculous with stupid shit on this stuff, all because they don't fucking like her. And it's pathetic. But we are actually getting kind of off topic.
Right.
However, at the same time, I have just been informed, son of a bitch. Okay, no, I don't want that. I've just oh, there we are.
You don't want your fingers?
No, we have a super chat from Joseph Kerwin for $5. No one ever talked about climate change before AOC. When do we put up a?
Oh my God!
When do we put up a statue for her? Okay, so that's another thing that's been pissing me the fuck off is AOC. This is another reason why I can understand why some people call her the Trump of the left, because she's starting to take credit for shit that she shouldn't be taking credit for. No, she's
turning into fucking Al Gore, okay? Like,
it's ridiculous. Like, you need to stop trying to take credit for something you clearly only finished and or it got bigger right around the time you got into office. You need to stop taking credit for shit like this. Like, when Trump actually took credit for the peace treaty behind South and North Korea, give that man the fucking hold on, no. Give that man the fucking credit. He kind of did actually push for that to inevitably happen. I have yet to hear a fucking story of the past of any past president, Obama, Bush, or even Clinton, being able to achieve that goal. Give that man fucking some credit on that particular thing. However, there are a few other things that Trump is trying to take credit for that he does not deserve credit for. I can't off the top of my head think of one, but I'm pretty sure somebody will remind me of something.
Right, exactly. This is where we feel dumb, so please, by all means, people, like, fill us in.
It was one of the reasons why I wish Sophane was here, so he could actually tell me one of the things that Trump had, like.
Not that I'm going to believe you outright, but
pretty much, right?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Like, give me the information, Sophane. Also, let's take shots of vodka together, because they were taking shots of their fucking their Crystal Skull vodka earlier on their stream, and I'm upset because I'm like, oh, I have my Crystal Skull vodka and I need to drink it. I need to. Aww. It's Crystal Skull vodka. It's Dan Aykroyd's vodka. Okay, the man might be crazy, but he knows his vodka.
Vodka.
Yes. They drink the vodka. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the other topic of the night, which is no collusion. So, from our friends over at CNN, and I use the word friends loosely here, the title is No Collusion. President Donald Trump has been saying and tweeting a similar refrain for 2 years now. No collusion. Because you haven't found anything. So no collusion. You need to back off already. Trump says Barr's summary proves him right. The investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in its elected interference activities, the letter states. Trump and his allies are already seizing on that line of the summary released Sunday, and it's undoubtedly a major headline pushing back on 2 years of Democrats claiming they had evidence of collusion. Of course, numerous Trump world
And
contact,
there will be no more indictments. So
essentially,
that's why
numerous
they're
Trump
saying it.
numerous Trump world contacts with Russians during the campaign and transition have already been established. So, what does it mean that Mueller didn't find conspiracy or coordination? I think this is where it's going to get interesting. Barr summary includes a footnote that explains how Mueller defined coordination, an agreement, tactic, or express between the Trump campaign and the Russian government on election interference. In addition, Barr wrote that no Trump associate conspired or coordinated despite multiple offers from Russian-affiliated individuals to assist the Trump campaign. Once more, I don't understand why you're still trying to push the argument, but okay. No exoneration for obstruction. The Justice Department decided not to prosecute the president for obstructing justice with his behavior, both public and in private, but Trump isn't fully cleared. Of course he's not. He is likely to still face a hailstorm of political criticism for his actions after taking office when more of Mueller's investigation is revealed. Okay. But for fuck's sake, he is at this point clear of all supposed charges when it comes to the Russian thing. There has been no collusion. He's been saying for 2 years there's no collusion, and even your big bad dog Mueller himself couldn't fucking find anything. He found absolutely no evidence, but he did apparently find several offers from Russia which were declined or not accepted by Trump's administration. The point, however, is not that he's exonerated from every single bad thing he's ever done in fucking since he's been a president. It's that this one fucking topic you need to back the fuck up from. This is why you people drive me insane.
It's not even back off from. It's more along the lines of, look, you guys have beaten this horse. It is bloody and fucking dead. There is so much other shit that you could probably fucking get him on, and you have your blinders on so tight on this one fucking thing, and you aren't willing to fucking open them up to see what other shit you could be missing or could be legitimately going after him for.
It's really fucking annoying
that you're wasting your fucking time on this now. Don't get me, I say this all the time. I don't hate the guy. I don't like the guy. He's just another fallible human in my eyes, just like AOC. I fucking hate her, but I also see her as a fucking failed human being like the rest of us are. We're all stupid in many ways. We're all smart in other ways. It's just the way that it is.
I'm gonna be honest. I think AOC is one of the dumbest and worst politicians that has been elected into office in a very long time, since Trump probably. And I would still just take her to Pound Town if she even remotely came on to me. If she
sexist now.
If she flirted with me. If she gave me any indication that she wanted to have nasty, freaky sex in a hotel room, I wouldn't hesitate to remove my pants in the hallway. That's pretty much, she's hot. I am not even going to hide the fact that I find that woman attractive.
Dude, we got to find you some other broads or something. Nancy Pelosi is hotter than she is.
That's disgusting, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Why would you even say something like that? I think
just to make your fucking cock drop.
I would vomit on my dick. I would have to I would have to take Viagra and then look at a picture of a hot chick in a bikini just to get it started. And it would just stay that way for the next 4 hours, but I would be crossing my fingers, hoping to God that it actually exceeds the 4 hours, and then I'd eventually have to go to the hospital and just have it, fucking like just put the needle in my dick and pull the blood out. Hopefully you will hit a nerve that causes it to be broken forever, because I don't ever want to be in that situation again. that's how
and me, like, I have to have brains along with the attractiveness. If you're not attractive to me in some way or another, like, what the fuck was it? Joe Rogan had actually talked about this like a few days ago. It's on JRE Clips about damn it. Fuck. What was it? Spectacular. Come on. Fucking help me here. Because he watched it with me. Essentially, Joe Rogan was talking about how the chick can be totally hot and you're totally into it, but your dick is the one that, like, drives it all. And then you sit there and you go, what the fuck? After the fact. Yeah, that's essentially how I see AOC is. I'm like, yeah, if I wanted to get laid, but then I'd immediately fucking regret it. At least Pelosi has some more brains, and for being as old as she is, she doesn't look that bad.
I can honestly tell you that if like, I'm shitting you not, if AOC found me interesting, attractive enough, and all that shit, and actually decided that she wanted to have a relationship with me, and I legitimately found, the same stuff, that I wanted to have a relationship with her, it would be the most watched political relationship in the history of political relationships, because you're going to get the Bill Clinton and the Hillary Clinton relationship, where it's like everything seems like it's rainbows and sunshines, and then you find out one is a dirty fucking sex fiend who just hooks up with anyone around him and is a rapist, and the other
not
is,
you, you are not a rapist.
I'm not. I'm pointing out.
I was about to say, we need to point that out. Clarification wise.
I'm saying with the utmost honesty, Bill Clinton is a rapist. But and then there's Hillary, who was essentially just a fucking frigid ice queen. Then you of course got the Bush family, very, very typical American family. Both versions. It's just there was the mother, the father, the children. That's it. Like, there was no real controversy behind it. They're just the Bush family.
And they had a retard.
I mean, Junior was fucking stupid, but hey, whatever. Not a big deal.
How the fuck did we vote that fucker in? Can we talk about that, y'all? Like,
Electoral College. He did the same thing Trump did. He went to Middle America, whereas Gore decided not to bother.
Gore also said he invented the internet, and that pissed off a lot of people.
Oh yeah, okay, Al Gore, yeah, sure. And then let's see, there was Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, and everybody considered that to be the perfect relationship. And honestly, I'm not gonna say that it's perfect, but there was nothing wrong with them. And then there's Trump and Melania, basically the multi-billionaire who hooks up with porn stars and probably does coke off of hookers' asses, and his extremely hot former nude model wife. AOC and I would probably be like on the same level as Trump and Melania, where it's just like you've got the Democratic left-wing socialist who's always going on about really dumb shit and is constantly made fun of by the right, and then there's the dude she's actually in a relationship with. I'm saying, if it was me, the dude that she's actually in a relationship with, he's a fucking a do-nothing nerd who basically just has manual labor jobs because eventually he gets bored and needs to fucking do something. It just goes and works in a warehouse and shit like that. Who's just this massive fucking nerd making goddamn inappropriate jokes all the time.
Isn't that her current boyfriend right now anyway, so?
I don't know a damn thing about her current boyfriend. I just know that he looks like a chick with a beard.
Sorry, I haven't heard that before, but Not wrong. Not wrong.
Go look at the pictures of the guy that she's dating. He looks like a chick with a beard. Like, anyways.
We just need to like retitle this fucking AOC.
AOC and her chick with a beard. Joseph Kerman for $3. Comrade Mueller performed well. None suspect.
Right.
That is, I have to agree with that. That's someone draw Brockus and AOC. Don't you fucking dare, please. I'm honest about how I would smash
do
it given the opportunity.
Definitely do it, but if you do, you have to do it in Steven Crowder's version of AOC.
Okay, you know what? I agree with that. Please, somebody put Steven Crowder's AOC picture on like her head or something, like drawn. Fuck, even come up with like some kind of animated version of the whole thing. I don't give a fuck. That would be hilarious. Just this very pissed off looking orc sitting next to her, just like, please shut the fuck up.
Oh no, I was talking about the fucking lazy cropped eye thing.
Oh, I was specific. I loved the the Crowder interview with AOC, where it was the eyes and mouth were the only thing moving in the entire video, and I couldn't stop fucking laughing.
I was dying, y'all. If you haven't seen that yet, please do go see at least that much. Even if you don't like him, you'll fucking love that. It was fucking amazing. Fucking amazing.
Now I have Henry G in the chat saying, would you be willing to dress as a trap? Baracus has a thing kind of for traps. I don't know who he was referring to, but okay.
AOC is a trap confirmed.
I don't look, if you are under the impression that I have a thing for traps, that does not automatically mean every single woman I have a thing for or have found attractive is suddenly a fucking trap.
It doesn't mean they're not, though. And that was Head Desk, y'all.
I don't know what to think right now. That was so dumb. My brain legitimately hurts. And I'm going to try to bring it back to that the son of a fucking bitch. Mueller said he thoroughly investigated the obstruction question, though he didn't interview Trump. So, ultimately, he left the question to the president's political appointees, Barr and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, to decide what to do. Once again, I just have to go ahead and continue to point out, how is Trump anti-Semitic? How is Trump a racist against Jewish people when he's clearly surrounded by Jews? Hard to actually be someone in the KKK when one of the people the KKK consistently fucking despises are the Jews. And his own son-in-law is a fucking Jew. Once more, I ask these questions because it's confusing when people say, he hates Jewish people. When has that? He works with them on a daily basis.
Not even that. We're talking about businessman here. For those people who do fucking believe in the whole Jewspiracy shit, he'd kind of want to be in cahoots with the fucking people with the money, right?
Yes. I'm going into business for myself. I need to actually get a little bit of money. I don't know where to go. You know what? I'm going to go to the Jews. Here in New York, they're everywhere, and they know exactly what to do with money. Okay, let's go talk to the Jewish people. It's so fucking confusing. That has always been one of the biggest weird arguments I think I've ever seen anyone blatantly say. Like, he hates Jews. How? What?
As a businessman, that is the stupidest fucking thing to say.
It is. It's very confusing. Barr and Rosenstein chose not to prosecute. They decided that they wouldn't press. Sorry. They decided that they wouldn't press a case against Trump because they didn't have evidence of any underlying crime. Barr's letter said Sunday. Barr also said the president's actions did not constitute obstructive conduct and were not done with corporate intent. His and Rosenstein's decision hadn't factored in the constitutional briar patch of indicting. I don't think that's how indicting is spelled, but okay. Of indicting a sitting president. While this report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him, Mueller wrote in his report, as Barr quoted him on Sunday. How does it not? See, here's what drives me insane when it comes to CNN. They will give you the information, outright give you all the information. We didn't find fucking anything to actually back up the claims we've had for the last 2 years. Literally nothing. Not a single shred of evidence. It all looked that way, especially after ass loads of fucking Democrats and other people would come forward and say, I have the proof you need. Then there was no proof. Over and over again for 2 fucking years. This was the continuous thing. And then nothing. We found literally nothing. But that motherfucker's still guilty. What?
Where, bitch?
Perhaps
where?
Perhaps with collusion, there could be no obstruction. Xuan Wu, a CNN contributor who previously represented Rick Gates in the investigation, said on Sunday. It's possible Barr didn't want to indict the president because an obstruction charge wouldn't stand without an underlying collusion case. Notably, Barr has always been opposed to an obstruction case against the president. Before he was Attorney General under Trump, Barr wrote a memo in June 2018 to top Justice Department officials saying he believed an obstruction case against Trump was fatally misconceived. Once more, I have to point out, these people have basically been against this man since he announced his official running for the presidency. Everything they say about him is either just pure 100% unadulterated hatred and bias, or
which is okay, just admit it.
Yeah, just fucking admit it. Or it is just the most in-your-face lie that anyone could ever fucking do. These people have taken hiding in plain sight to a new fucking level, to the point where anyone with a brain is going to see the very object they're trying to hide from you, but for some god-awful reason, I don't know,
still can't even find it.
50% of us still just walk right past it and don't even suspect that there's something there we should be paying attention to. It's like a giant dick statue near an art museum, and most people just walk by it like it's always been there, but it's only been there for the last 2.5 fucking years. And then there's like, I don't know, at least 20 people a day look over and say, hey, did you know there's a dick statue there? When did that get here? That's kind of how this is. And it gets more and more fucking frustrating. If you're going to hate the man, hate him for the right fucking reasons, but stop with this goddamn ridiculous resource-wasting manhunt for information that probably, for the most part, doesn't fucking exist. Enough is enough. You have consistently, over and over and over and over and over again for the last 2.5 fucking years, come up with absolutely goddamn nothing. Mueller hasn't found anything. Every investigator hasn't found anything. No one has fucking found anything. on Trump. Yet for some reason, we continuously overlook the fact that Hillary Clinton did some pretty fucking heinously treacherous things that would actually consider her to be an actual traitor. Nothing happened to her. But Trump, the guy they can't find a fucking scrap of evidence about this so-called collusion, Trump is the one that they are consistently going after. This is why no one trusts you, CNN. This is why no one trusts Democrats right now, or at least most people don't trust Democrats.
Democrats don't even trust Democrats.
True. And here's the saddest part, okay? Here is the really, truly unfortunate, sad part about this. Most Democrats, we don't even speak about. Most Republicans, we don't even speak about. Do you know who the biggest politicians are that we speak about on the right or the left? Aside from Trump and Pence on the right, we also have, oh my God, what was his fucking name? He was running for senator in Texas and won.
Crenshaw?
No, wrong fucking person.
I love him, though.
Yeah, he's great. We do talk about Crenshaw, and he's probably one of the only Republicans that people actually like.
Right.
Dude, when people started bitching about the Chris Evans thing, there were Democrats, liberals, and a bunch of other fucking people on the left pretty much criticizing the people on the left who were actually trying to criticize Chris Evans, saying, you know, like, oh, how dare you stand next to that fucking Nazi? People stood in and said, okay, first of all, Crenshaw's not a fucking Nazi. Mind you, these are people on the left. Crenshaw's not a fucking Nazi. Second of all, let the man stand next to and actually have a fucking picture with whoever the hell he wants. Who the fuck do you think you are to actually judge another person like that? So, like, that was probably one of the only other times I was ever actually proud of the left, because I'm just like, look, you guys are sane, you know, for the most part. You just need to silence and or lower the volumes on your loudest nut jobs. Like,
yeah,
you know, just kind of turn their dial down a little bit, because I like to hear more about the sane people. Right. But maybe the answer I'm looking for is in the no, it's not. It's somebody that has actually been on Louder with Crowder a few times. I'm forgetting his name because it's that situation I told you about before we went live.
Yeah.
Where common fucking information or information I will use daily, weekly, monthly, a name that I use without issue, suddenly out of my brain. I can't remember a damn thing. Anyways, there's a lot of fucking people we talk about on the right, and there's a lot of fucking people we talk about on the left. On the left and the right, there are a few good eggs. There are a few people that we can talk about from the left where we actually say, yeah, actually, that's one of the good ones. And there are a few people on the right where we can actually point out and say, you know what, that's actually one of the good ones. And then the rest of them are a bunch of crazy assholes running the fucking circuit and pissing everyone the hell off.
Right.
The rest of the people on the left that are Democrats or on the right that are Republicans, they have to sit there and watch this fucking circus unfold and just kind of rest their heads onto their hands and go, why? Why has it come to this? Is it because...
This is what I am being fucking aligned with. Great.
You know whose fault it is? Truthfully speaking, it's actually not one individual person. It is actually a collective of people. But I would say it actually came about.
It's Shoe's fault.
Shoe's fault?
Shoe's fault.
Shoe on
the
head?
whole turf thing, yes. She got it all started. It's all the turfs.
You know what? Yeah, it's Shoe on Head's fault. How dare you, June, you fucking maniac. Why would you do this to us?
Yes.
I can't believe Armored Skeptic would still be interested in being with you, you nut job of a person.
I know.
Also, please special guest on this show one of these days. It would be awesome. Don't blame Mama June. No.
Oh, God.
You're a sick bastard. Why?
Why? Do not call her Mama. That is so creepy.
Okay, no. Mama June is the
She's
mom from.
2.
Yeah, but June is the name, and we call her Mama June from. Shut the fuck up, you goddamn spaz! Fucking
That worked.
The small one is the one that pisses me. You little shit. Anyways, no, Mama June is from she was the fat mom from the fucking reality TV show, the fat little girl, Honey Boo Boo.
Oh.
Yeah, Mama June was Honey Boo Boo's mom.
Ew.
Yeah, that's
Never
why.
saw the show.
Yeah. Brockus would impregnate ContraPoints. Okay, there are several things wrong there. First, I mean, I might stick it up her
okay,
ass.
You know what? I'd hit ContraPoints though in a heartbeat.
What?
Just saying. Nothing.
You say you would hit ContraPoints or hate?
I'd hit it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
I'd hit that.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'd probably stick it in her ass. You know, I'd put fingers in her. 2, that's physically impossible, and you know damn well why. But
Still hot though.
They're accurate. I would at least try.
Still hot though.
Yeah. That's definitely one of those people that can transition and make everyone go, wait, what?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh my god.
It's like what Blair was so like 2016. We're all about ContraPoints now, baby.
No, I'm all about Ella Grant still. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
That one still blows my mind to this day. When I first watched those videos, and I couldn't stop fucking laughing when she shot the fuck out of her computer. Like that was a
so
vagina.
Great.
It's too fucking funny.
We are so
we have derailed so hard from the original topic. I think what we're going to go ahead and do, because there are a few other paragraphs here. Well, not paragraphs, but topics, such as Trump was never interviewed. I don't even understand why that's relevant. The political fight is just beginning. It began years ago. God damn it. Barr's summary ramps up, calls for full report. Okay. Barr's summary calls for the thing everyone already has. Gotcha. Your levels of redundancy are astonishing. There's a lot more information to come. Let me guess. The actual lot more information is just simply repeating the same fucking thing with different versions of different words. Thank you, Thesaurus, for offering us a pool of synonyms that we can use in our vocabulary.
Pool of synonyms, sorry.
Why would you bring in Tim Pool yet again? It's
because pool. You said pool of words.
That's fine. I'm just
and he does have a way with words that I do not. So yay, Tim Pool of words. Anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. It's Tim Pool. I think there's something about people from both England and certain upbringings that have a way with words, and it's just like, how are you so fucking charming? And then you realize it's because they're using very honeyed words, and it's very confusing. You don't know why, but you like it.
You're a dickbag for it, but whatevs.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
What the fuck? No, close the tab. That's why I've clicked the X, you fucking computer. Ugh. All right. Anyways. Yeah, fuck it. We're going to go ahead and actually cut this. Wait. The social injustice warrior has shown up saying, Ooga fucking booga cunts. I'm kind of sad that he showed up now because we're closing it. And it would have been nice to have him talking shit on us as we were talking about the other topics, because we got off topic a fuckload.
Yeah.
But anyways. Yeah, no, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up at this point. By the way, V, how's it going? If you guys are not subscribed to V or watch his shit, go and click on his fucking channel right now. He does some pretty good shit. He actually has some pretty damn good jokes. One of my personal favorite jokes was one he did. It was, I think, his part 1 video where he talked about Channel Awesome. Go watch the beginning of part 1. Actually, watch the entire series, but the beginning of part 1 of his Channel Awesome miniseries was probably the best fucking joke he has done. I fucking laugh every time I think about it. But yeah, V, the social injustice warrior. Go check out V stuff. My brain is fucking misfiring right now. Why is it not working tonight?
Also, go check out Comment Awards, and specifically the video Redditors share funny brain farts that we all have from time to time. That was pretty much us the entire show tonight.
That's still it's still happening to me. My brain is fucking just misfiring over and over and over again. Anyways, go check out Social Injustice Warrior. He does good shit. Go and check out Critical Role as well as Geek and Sundry. It's pretty fucking cool shit. If you are a geek, if you like backing up geeky things, the Kickstarter, of course, is in. The link to the Kickstarter is still in the chat as well as the link to the Legend of Vox Machina video. I don't think there's anything else we have. We've covered the nerdy Kickstarter stuff, and I fucking fanboyed like crazy on Critical Role for a bit. Then we moved on to the insanity that is, well, politics. God, I hate it.
Yeah, I suck about it. Sorry, y'all, if I corrupted or made you feel even stupider. I don't know shit, but I can still have an opinion on it.
No, yeah. Here's a bit of information or a bit of advice I will definitely be willing to part with everybody. When it comes to politics, you have to understand that almost everything in your life has some form of politics in it. That's just how the world works. Politics are everywhere. You could choose to acknowledge that or you could choose to ignore that. It's completely up to you. But just because you don't know much about how the economy works or how laws are put into place or even why certain laws exist and things of that nature, even if you don't know every aspect about politics, that does not mean you are not allowed to have any kind of opinion about politics. So never let anyone online tell you you are not allowed to have a say-so in any kind of political topic. You have a voice, use it. You have an opinion, use it. That's just how this always works. Now, there's always going to be the political gatekeepers of the internet. Just ignore that. Just ignore them. Because again, if something doesn't make sense to you, ask questions. Ask so it does make sense to you. And then make a conclusion from there. If you don't actually know how certain things work in the economy, ask questions to people that clearly seem to actually have a better understanding of how it works. Or
then we do.
Go to Google. I especially, look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I actually know anything about politics. I really barely know much about politics. I just know what does and doesn't make sense to me. That's it. That's all it is.
Same. I know what does and doesn't piss me off. And for me, if y'all haven't noticed through all of my months on here, my thing is understanding that people are fallible as human beings, so seeing them as some kind of pedestal to something, anything, to me is fucking retarded to do. I don't care how knowledgeable somebody is in something. Yeah, AOC went through economist stuff. Okay, so tell me why the fuck she thinks that we can get rid of airplanes, so? Retarded. So that's what I'm saying is she's smart. She may be smart. She's also retarded. Everybody is.
She was smart enough to actually convince people in New York to vote her into office. Let's just go ahead and point that out. She wasn't smart enough.
She was primaried.
That's my
nobody was going to fucking vote Republican in that area regardless, period. She was the only one that ran. And so, ta-da, she fucking just got it.
Yeah, that's kind of how California works too. California
Yeah.
and New York are the opposing sides of the coast, but they're basically the same state despite the size difference. New York is almost 100% completely blue. They haven't had a Republican in office in a long time. It's the same thing with California. We haven't really had a whole lot of Republican representation here in California for a very long time. Most of our mayors are corrupt Democrats. Most of our politicians are corrupt Democrats. It's California. Everybody's corrupt here.
Yet we still keep voting for him. What the fuck?
And then when we are upset about
you'd
how
learn.
and you would think that we'd stop that shit, because then those same people leave California and go to other states like Arizona, Nevada, Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, and we somehow
vote the motherfuckers again.
We go the same fucking route that we did in California, where all of a sudden now we're trying to change the state and make it blue, or we're turning the city into a blue fucking place. And all of those policies that we left behind, we're trying to implicate there. Now, either that's actually intelligent fucking tactics where you're essentially just, sneaking behind enemy lines and essentially just breeding everybody out or some shit like that, or it's just dumb fucks repeating dumb fuckery. It's as simple as that. Dumb fucks
repeating dumb fuckery.
But yes, the thing that I wanted to leave everybody on is that if you have an opinion about politics, don't worry about not actually knowing about politics. Simply state you don't really know much about it, but this doesn't make sense to me, or this makes more sense to me, whatever the case is. So don't try to let anybody make you feel inferior when it comes to the political discussion. I'm going to check Streamlabs real quick one more time.
Yeah, you can always learn more by talking to other people or enlighten other people, regardless of it being politics or any other subject in this world across the fucking board.
Smart but retarded sounds like something you'd see on a wine bottle. That probably may be her brand of wine. Smart retard.
That's my brand. The fuck, bitch? No, you can't take my brand of wine.
Next year, Sestra. Next year, Sestra, you're going to come out with a fucking a new type of wine. It's like, this is my new red wine. It's called Smart Tard. Basically, it tastes like an alcoholic sweet tart.
Yep.
But it's a pure red wine. It gets you fucking hammered and it's cheap as hell. Congratulations, America. I just gave you another really bad idea. Yep. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and cut it out at this point. Thank you all for actually joining and sticking around with us. Not a lot of people probably did. Some of them.
I don't know why you stuck with us, but hey, thanks for it anyways.
Some of them were very interested about my extremely nerdiness, and then some of them only came back and were like, "Oh, so they're finally talking about the political shit." Okay, fantastic. I don't know. Anyways, thank you for joining us. Keep your eyes and ears out for upcoming streams from the SnatchCast later on this week. Should be a hand solo. I've said that several times in the last several weeks, and yet we haven't had a hand solo in a while, and that's actually not my fault. I'm not the one who's supposed to be running hand solos, but fucking don't blame me. And then of course Saturday night Cunt streams, and I can't remember what other shows, but Schmeckel's starting to bring up some new shows. So like I said, keep your eyes and ears peeled for upcoming streams throughout the week, and I'm going back to work Wednesday.
Yay!
So unfortunately, there's going to be less of a presence for me when it comes to Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, at least for the time being. But I'm going back to work. I'm going to earn my keep once again. I'm going to be making real fucking paychecks. And yes, my shoulder is pretty much back to normal. It's just a little bit of a pressure issue when it comes to the muscles. Kind of like, they still feel every once in a while, like when I move them in certain ways, like somebody just punched me there. But that'll get worked out eventually.
Yeah, but the gym, man.
We have been the CNN, the Cunt News Network. We brought you the news that was brought by somebody else. Good night, cunts, and get the fuck out.